Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Newmarket Racecourse here on Tuesday. It is April the 17th, 2018. Gonna look at all the races on today's program from Newmarket, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for racecourses around the world. It's the first race meeting of the year from Newmarket, the Craven meeting. It starts today and ends Thursday, so you have 3 days of races, and finally we have some good turf races in the UK. I'm going to look at all the races, almost all the races, shall I say, on today's card from Newmarket. I won't be giving out a tip for the 150 and the 3 o'clock, the first race and the third race, because those two races are the most difficult races anywhere in the world today to give a tip out, and I won't feel, it would just be not right for me to give out a tip that I'm not 100% behind for those races, so I'm just going to skip those. So we're going to skip race number 1 for Newmarket and head on to race number 2 now, the 225. The 225 from Newmarket, it's the Alex Scott Maiden Stakes, Division 2, Class 4 maiden race, going for a purse of $13,500. It's for maidens, 3-year-olds, colts, and geldings only. Field of 13 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters or 7 furlongs on the Rowley Mile turf course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 8 horse, Joal. I'm going to go 8-11-7 in the TriCast or the trifecta. 8-11-7 TriCast trifecta. But as a little bit of a price play, I'm going to use the 11 horse Porth Swatan as a little bit of a small each way price play also. But my top pick, the 8 horse Joala, 3-year-old colt by Bahamian Bounty. Jim Crowley's on this John Gosden train, 3-year-old colt by Bahamian Bounty. 5-2 here, owned by Al Maktoum. This horse's most recent outing came last August at Newbury. Good ground, 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs in a Class 4 maiden race for 2-year-olds. This horse finished third by a length, carrying a bit of a high weight of 131 pounds. Just missed at the end. Really couldn't get that good closing kick. But I think coming here on wetter ground, which this horse I think likes a little bit better, I think he should be on the improvement off the layoff. Start before at Newmarket on the July course, July 29th, yielding ground, 14 meters, 7 furlongs, Class 4 novice race. Horse finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. Closed up well, just missed, but for a first outing, wasn't a bad run. That race was on wet ground, and I think with the wet ground here today, I think this horse should really do well. Should like the distance off the layoff. John Gosden horses, in my eyes, they do well here, so watch out. Another horse I like here, a bit of a price, is the 11 horse Porth Swatan, or Swatan, what the hell this horse's name is, 7-1 here. Paul Hannigan's on this one. This horse had a start here last November, the 3rd, at Newmarket. 7 furlongs, 14 meters in a Class 4 novice race. This horse finished second by length and just missed at the end. Had a great turn of foot. Wasn't a bad outing. Before that, Newmarket, good ground, 7 furlongs, 14 meters, Class 2 handicap. This horse finished second by half length. Just missed at the end, but it was a very respectable run. And then a very heavy ground at Leicester, 7 furlongs, Class 4 novice race. This horse finished second by 6 lengths. Again, had a very decent race that day. This horse likes a wet going. He's going to see it today, and at 7-1, he'll get a small each way wager on me. But he is my second best horse, I think, in this race. I think the 8 horse Chihuahua is also is my top pick. I think he's a little bit better than this one, but as a little bit of price play, this 11 horse can get it also. So to recount my bets for the second race from Newmarket, the 225, it's the Alex Scott Maiden Stakes. Going to go with the 8 horse Chihuahua. I'm also going to use the 11 horse Porth Swatan as a little bit of a price play. I'm going to go 8-11-7 in the TriCast, so the trifecta. So now we're going to skip over race number 3 because that's a difficult race, and I do not feel confident giving you a tip for that race. And we're going to head on to race number 4 now from the Newmarket, the 335. The 335, it is the British EBF Bet 365 condition stakes, Class 3 conditions race, going for a purse of $20,500. It's for 3-year-olds, which are EBF eligible. Field of 5 horses going 1,400 meter trip or 7 furlongs on the Rowley Mile turf course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 1 horse, Purser. I'm going to go 154 in the TriCast, the trifecta. 154 TriCast trifecta. Top pick number 1, Purser, 9-5, 3-year-old colt here. Frankie Dettori gets leg up for this one. This horse's most recent outing came on the 30th of March in the at Newcastle. 1 mile, 1600 meters in the Class 1 listed stakes. I believe it was the Buradon Stakes. Gronkowski won that day and ran well. This horse was just 4th, off a little bit of a break. This horse really couldn't get a good closing kick. Gronkowski's on the road to run here in America and Kentucky in about 2.5 weeks' time in the Kentucky Derby. Derby, but this horse just wasn't catching him. Even though I think Gronkowski, I think is going to be the, I think he's going to get, he's going to be the most overbet horse on Derby Day, I think, because he's been facing nobody in the UK, and he's going to have his biggest challenge on Derby Day in America. But that's my prediction for Gronkowski. If he finishes better than 15th, I'll be shocked. But if he wins, I'll be even more shocked. You'll see me at a loony bin the week after. But, back to this horse now. This horse's start before the Bird On came at Newmarket locally, 1 mile, 600 meters in the Autumn Stakes. This horse finished third by 4.5 lengths that day and really couldn't get a good closing kick. And, just couldn't keep up with them. And then at Lingfield, 7 furlongs, Class 5 novice race, stepping all the way down. This horse won by 9 lengths, 44 cents to the dollar. Quickened up nicely, had a very easy victory. Before that, ran the Solario at Sandown, 7 furlongs on the 2nd of September. This horse finished fourth by 3 3/4 lengths and had a horrible trip. A little, just really couldn't get the good clear trip that day, and I think that cost us one at the end. But I think off the layoff here, second off the layoff here, this horse should run well. I think he's the freshest one. Frankie Dettori getting a leg up. Frankie Dettori has a good record at this meeting, so watch out. So to recap my bets for the fourth from Newmarket, 335. It's the British EBF bet 365 condition stakes. Gonna go with the one horse Purser. Gonna go 154 in the TriCast of the trifecta, 154. So now let's get on to race number 5, the 410 from Newmarket. The 410, it's the Plus Vital Energine Q10 handicap. It's Class 2 handicap, going for a purse $34,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards, rated 86 to 100. Field 19 horses, going the 1,600 meter trip or 1 mile on the Rolly Mile. Another races so wide open. I'll give you 3 horses that I think can win. Those 3 horses are going to be the 1 horse Fire Brigade, the number 3 horse Mafim, and the number 6 horse here, Plutonian. So 136 for me. They're all okay odds, and I'll probably do a small each way wager on all 3 of them. But first horse we'll talk about is the 1 horse Fire Brigade, 6-1. Jamie Spencer gets leg up on this Michael Bell train, 4-year-old gelding by Firebreak. This horse had to start at the Lincoln meeting at Doncaster, March 24th, 1 mile, 16 meters in Class 2 handicap. That was the Lincoln, I believe. This horse finished 15th by 30 lengths that day, and really just weakened out of it. It just wasn't his day to win against this tougher horses off a layoff. But I think coming here to wet her ground, which this horse really likes to run on, I do think he should run, a better race. Before that, Leicester, 1 mile on the 30th of October, Class 2 handicap. This horse won by half length, was a 2-1 favorite, 5-2 favorite, can't speak, 5-2 favorite at post, and he just quickened up nicely and had a very nice victory that day. And then here at Newmarket on the 29th of September, Class 2 handicap, this horse finished third by half length, just missed at the end, and all out finish with 3 horses, but ran a respectable race. I think here with soft ground and getting the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, second off the layoff, watch out for this horse to run a big one. I also like the number 3 horse here, Mafim, 7-1 here. Jim Crowley's on this Owen Burrows train, 4-year-old gelding by Shamdal. This horse's most recent outing came on the 27th of August at Yarmouth. Firm ground, a mile and a quarter in a Class 2 handicap for 3-year-olds plus. This horse finished second by 2.5 lengths that day. He was second best that day. It wasn't a bad run. It wasn't his best run, but he's second best. He quickened up a little bit. Before that, on the 8th of August at Nottingham, heavy ground, a mile and a quarter, Class 5 main race. This horse broke his main by 11 lengths that day. Stepping down, he just had a very easy victory. And then at Newmarket, 24th of June, 1 mile, 16 meters in Class 4 maiden race. Horse finished second by half length. He was closing up well at the end. It was a respectable race. He ran at this meeting last year, but last year was very dry ground and a mile and a quarter main race. He finished second by 4 lengths behind Tom Leake, and he ran quite well. It wasn't his best run, but it wasn't his worst run. But he's a horse that's proven he can run off a layoff, and I think he should run well here at 7-1. So watch out. You want him on your ticket, along with the number 6 horse here, Plutonian. William Buick gets on this one, 10-1 here for a colt by Ravens Pass for Charlie Hills, who trains this one. This horse's most recent outing came at Chelmsford in November the 9th, mile and a quarter, Class 2 handicap. This horse won by head, had the good front running style there from the rail for the Chelmsford race, and he just won very nicely. Before that, on the 14th of October at Kempton, mile and Class 2 handicap, he had a wide trip that day, and he finished 6th by 2.5 lengths. He was just a little bit too wide, and he really never got there. But if you throw out that race from his running lines, he's run quite well in 2017. Before that, a decent third place finish here at Newmarket on a wet wet ground. And before that, he had a very easy victory at Windsor, going a mile last summer by 10 lengths. He just won for fun again that day. I think here 10-1. He's a horse also you want on your ticket, so watch out. So to recap my bets for today's fifth race from Newmarket, the 410. Gonna go with the one horse Fire Brigade. I'm also gonna use the three horse, and I'm also gonna use the six horse 136 in the 410 from Newmarket. So now let's get on to race number 6 from Newmarket, the sixth race, the 445. It's featured on the opening day of the Craven meeting. The 445, it is the Feilden Stakes. It's a listed stakes for Class 1 horses, going for a purse of $54,000. This race is for 3-year-olds only. Field of 8 horses, going the 1,800-meter trip, or 1 mile and 1/8 on the Rolling Mile Turf Course. My top pick in this race, I like the number 2 horse, Kew Gardens. My best bet of the day, I'm going to go 2-6-1 in the TriCast of the trifecta. 2-6-1 TriCast trifecta. Top pick number 2, Kew Gardens. Ryan Moore gets on this one for Aidan O'Brien, who trains a trio called by Galileo for the Coolmore Group. This horse's most recent run came locally the 14th of October at Newmarket, a mile and a quarter, 2,000 meters in Class 1 listed stakes. This horse did everything right. He won by 3.5 lengths. He quickened up nicely and just had a very nice victory. Before that, in Naas in Ireland, 24th of September, 1 mile in the Beresford Stakes, the Group 2 Beresford Stakes. This horse finished 4th by 2 3/4 lengths behind Saxon Warrior, and he just couldn't catch the horses in front of him that day. It just wasn't his day to win. And then at Leopardstown on the 9th of September, 1 mile 16 meters in the Willis Towers Watson Champions Juvenile Stakes. Horse finished second by 3 lengths behind Nelson. Again, he was definitely second best. It wasn't his best race, but it wasn't his worst race. His best race came here at Newmarket in the fall, and I think he should keep that going with a good run here again today. 2-1. I like him a lot. I know it's not the best price, but he's my best bet, so watch out. So recap my bets for the 445, the sixth race from Newmarket. It's the Feilden Stakes. Gonna go with the 2 horse Kew Gardens. Gonna go 2-6-1 in the TriCast of the trifecta. So now let's get on to race number 7, the 520. The 520, it is the Bet365 handicap, Class 2 handicap, going for a purse of $34,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards, rating 91 to 105. Field of 17 horses, going the 1,400-meter trip, or 7 furlongs on the turf course. My top selection in this race is going to be 3 horses again, because this race is very, very wide open. Going to go with the 2 horse Metahim. I'm also going to use the 8 horse Ishra, and I'm also going to use the number 14 horse Juanto Chico. So I'm going to go 3 deep, 2, 8, 14. But the number 2 horse Metahim, the first horse Telgmount, 8-1 Frankie Dettori's on this Richard Hannon trained 4-year-old gelding by Kodiak. Source's most recent outing came at the Ebor meeting at York last August. 1 mile, 16 meters in a Class 2 handicap. He finished 4th by 3 3/4 lengths that day. Had a bit of a wide post trend, really just couldn't get there at the end. It wasn't his day to win. The final 16th of a mile or so wasn't his best run of that race. Early on he ran well, but not the end. But before that, on the 5th of August at Goodwood, soft ground, 7 furlong Class 2 handicap. He had a decent 3rd place finish by 2 3/4 lengths. He wasn't going to catch the winner, but he ran. He took control of that ground that day. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad run, but probably his best race of the summer came here at Newmarket. 1 mile, Class 2 handicap. He won by 1/2 lengths. He quickened up nicely and had a very easy victory. I like him a lot here today. He's a horse that likes wet ground. A little bit of a high weight, but it shouldn't be a problem. Watch out for this horse. So I like the 8 horse also, Ishra. 9-2. Harry Bentley's on this one for this 4-year-old filly by Holy Roman Emperor. This horse's most recent outing came on 29th of July at Newmarket, yielding round 7 furlongs in Class 2 fillies handicap. This horse won by 4.5 lengths that day, and again, just one for fun. A very easy victory for this horse. Before that, the 15th of July here in Newmarket, 7 furlongs Class 2 fillies handicap. This horse won by a neck. He won that day, but it wasn't an impressive victory. He had losses that were a lot more impressive than that victory. So it's not a race I would really rate high. But before that, Newmarket 7 furlongs Class 4 handicap, that's not a race I would really rate high. He finished 3rd by a half length and didn't have the best of closing kicks at the end. But before that, he won a very easy race at Wolverhampton facing nobodies. He's a horse that likes wet ground. He's off a little bit of a longer break than most of the horses in this race, but he likes this ground and this race course. So at 9-2, I'll take my chances with him, along with the number 14 horse here, Juanto Chico. Jamie Spencer is on this one for William Jarvis, who trains at 4-year-old gelding by Pormoy. This horse's most recent outing came on the 29th of July at Ascot, 1600 meters, one mile yielding on the yielding ground in a Class 2 handicap. This horse finished fourth by 2.5 lengths that day. He was stepping up into class that day, and I think that class was just a little bit too tough for this horse at that particular junction. You know, he just really never got into it. But yeah, I think here it is a little bit of a step up, but not as much of a step up as it was last time out to that Class 2 handicap, which was probably closer to maybe a listed stakes than to it was a high Class 2 handicap. This is a lower Class 2 handicap, shall I say, if that makes sense. So I think here he should run a little bit better than he did last time out. But before that, at Ascot, 14th July, 1 mile, 600 meters, Class 3 handicap. In that lower division, he finished second by a neck. He just missed, but it was a very respectable race. And then at Newmarket a month earlier, 7 furlongs in a Class 2 handicap, finished fourth by 7 lengths. Again, he just couldn't catch him at the end, but he won on Oak State Epsom very easily, going 7 furlongs, won by length, easy victory. He's a horse here. He should run well. 12-1, I'll take my chances. So to recap my bets for the 7th race from Newmarket, the 520, it's bet 365 handicap. Gonna go with the 2 horse here and bet him. I'm also gonna use the 8 horse Ishra, and I'm also gonna use the 14 horse Juan Chico. I'm gonna go 2, 8, 14 in the 7th race from Newmarket. So now let's get on to race number 8, the 8th race, the 5:55 finale on the card. It's the Quai Mills Hotel and Spa handicap, Class 3 handicap, going for a purse of $27,000. It's for fillies and it's for 4-year-olds and upwards. Can't speak today for some reason. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards, rated 81 to 95. Fields of 10 horses, going the 1,000-meter trip or 5 furlongs on the turf course. My top pick in this race, I like the 4-horse Storm Over. I'm gonna go 4-2-10 at the TriCast of the trifecta. 4-2-10 TriCast trifecta. Top pick number 4. Storm Over. 4-1, Luke Morris is on this Robert Cowell trained 4-year-old colt. This horse's most recent outing came at Catterick last October. 21st of October, soft ground, 5 furlongs in a Class 2 handicap. He won by 3/4 of a length, and he was stepping up in a lot of class that day. But he ran like he was he ran very easily. He had a very easy victory with the low weight, and it was a great run. This race is not nearly as tough as the race he faced last time out, and I think here today he should even run a lot better off a break. But before that, he ran 6 weeks earlier at Thirsk, soft ground, 5 furlongs in a Class 4 handicap. Source finished 5th by 1 3/4 lengths. The high weight I think might have got him that day. He just lacked a little bit at the end. You could say the start before, where he finished 3rd at a neck at Newbury, 5 furlongs on August 18th. Finished 3rd by a neck carrying 135 pounds. He just missed at the end. He kind of weakened out of it. But he was carrying a load of weight. This race carrying 129 pounds, which I don't think is a major penalty here. And I like him a lot here. His last run was very impressive. So watch out. So to recap my bets for the 8th race, the 5:55 from Newmarket, gonna go with the 4-horse Storm Over. Gonna go 4-2-10 in the TriCast, the trifecta. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good